Today, we're talking about mental health and prayer. And I know you're the expert on all of that, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Can we see who's
People, if you are watching, send us a heart so that we can see who's here.
yeah.
We'll pull it up on my phone also so we can see some names.
Okay, and post your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. I can't.
Bubbles
Bubbles
Juice.
Juice.
She's watching from Periscope.
Okay. Hi, Periscope person. I want to chit chat a little with you about some mental health stuff, some anxiety that a lot of people I know are experiencing right now.
Yeah.
If you have specific questions, please feel free to ask a question. So
Sorry.
So we're I know I'm making sure I'm hitting on some of the things that people are really struggling with, and we'll go from there.
So Sister Carla's joining us.
Hi, Carla.
Linda Richardson Ford.
Hi, Linda. I miss having everybody here. It's so weird being in the sanctuary,
It's
and
weird.
it's like it's so empty and quiet in here. We miss you guys so much. I usually sit all the way in the back, but I'm still surrounded by people. I miss everybody.
Ava's watching.
Hey, Ava! Ava, I called you yesterday. Miss. Hi, everybody.
So how has everyone been doing, though, during this time? I know self-isolation is a thing, and I know I've been feeling lonely because I'm not able to meet up with my friends and do some of that stuff. So how is everyone making out, being stuck at home? Hi, Ava. Let us know in the comments, okay?
I've heard a lot, and I do want to talk about the introvert, extrovert.
Yes, introvert. You can't introvert.
In case you can't tell. Hi, Tasha.
Hey.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that and how introverts and extroverts are handling this very differently. And I want to hear who's the extrovert? Who are my extroverts? Tasha, you're an extrovert.
Yeah, she's an extrovert.
Ava, I'm not sure. I think Ava's more introvert.
So if you're an extrovert, comment with the smiley face emoji.
My husband is already on here talking trash. The two introverts going live.
Where you at?
Craziest thing ever. Very funny. Introvert. I think I'm more introvert extrovert now, but more introvert definitely than extrovert. Mixed. Yeah, I thought so. Mixed. Tasha, are you introvert extrovert? Are you?
Ambivert?
I think yes. I'm about the same. Ambivert. All right, I guess we'll wait for a few, see who comes on, and then start a little chit chat.
If you're watching, this is going to be a really great conversation. So make sure that you are sharing it so your friends can tune in and really just get some information as well. Got to help each other out.
Yes, during this time.
I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies.
Me too. I think it depends on who I'm around.
Yeah.
All of my friends are extroverts, which is maybe why I hang out with extroverts. But I tap out.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
Nick, you're not an introvert at all.
Extroverts always think that they're introverts, but there's a difference.
Nick, you're an extrovert. Pastor Nick is an extrovert with introvert tendencies. Let's switch that.
Hey, Deaconess Mays, glad you're tuning in with us.
Deaconess Mays, hi, Sister Mays. Hi, Sharon.
Yeah, people are tuning in. Okay. Yay. All right. So do you want to start with questions first, or?
Let's start with the extrovert, introvert.
Okay, let's go.
Because this has been on my mind a lot. I want people to maybe think a little bit differently about it. So for my extroverts, hi Craig. For my extroverts, I think a lot of people think extroverts are going to have a harder time in this season because they like to be out and about and around people and socialize. But just because someone is an introvert doesn't mean that they don't also enjoy those things.
Yeah.
I think that they just tend to want to balance and want to dictate who they spend their time with, how long they spend their time with certain people, and they like to have control over their environment a little bit more. So I think both are going to handle the situation differently, but that doesn't mean that one is handling it harder than the other.
Right.
So I am curious to see what people are doing during this time, and what we can do to help them. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, I think it really just depends on you individually, how you're managing your time, what you're doing with your time, and who you're reaching out to is important too. So if you are the type that is an introvert and you isolate, then this may be a tough time for you, because a lot of introverts who isolate find themselves in their own head and tend to lean more towards depression during this time. Whereas my extroverts who like to be out and about and around people, I think they tend to not focus so much on what they're internalizing, and they need to. So I think it's important for each to figure out where they are in the season, and it'll be very telling for you what you need to work on. So for the clients that have reached out to me, they're experiencing a lot of anxiety, which I know a lot of people are feeling right now. But anxiety, and I do want to say this, anxiety is normal. There's a part of us that needs anxiety. So you need anxiety because it's our flight or fight response. We need it when we're in danger, and we're all experiencing the same thing.
Right.
So there is a real risk, there's a real fear, and for us to experience some anxiety, that's normal. You should. So we don't want to not normalize something that comes very normal to us as humans, and that's to have some kind of anxiety when we need it.
Right.
So for example, I was thinking about this on the way up here.
Yeah.
I'm walking around my neighborhood. This was like last year, and while I'm walking, I just see this big black dog that just was staring,
oh my gosh,
just staring at me. And I look up and to try to see if there's anybody around, and there was nobody there. And I stopped in front. And when I say I'm 5'2", and I almost hopped on the top of somebody's truck with a quickness, right? And this lady just comes out, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's friendly. This dog was charging me, okay?" And
wow.
And I'm like, "Lady, if you don't get your dog, right?
Get your
dog." And she's like, "Oh, he's friendly. I'm so sorry." But your body and your mind automatically has a response to something that happens to you or something that's happening in your environment. You need that.
Right.
So
to save your life.
You need it to save your life.
Right.
If a bull moose is charging after you, you need some anxiety to get you moving. And on a smaller scale, something as simple as if you have an exam coming up or you're in the middle of a paper and it's due at midnight and it's 10:45 and you're looking at the clock and you're like, you gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. You need anxiety to get you moving.
Right.
So part of the anxiety that everyone is feeling is okay. So let's just normalize it. Right. It's okay. You need it to keep you safe, to put the mask on, to wash your hands when you get in the house, to remind you to do certain things that are normal and necessary.
Right. So anxiety isn't always a bad thing.
It's not always a bad thing. Yes, it's your fuel. It keeps you safe. It tells you what to do to keep you moving. So you need anxiety. Everybody needs it. However, there is a difference between anxiety and panic. Your panic response is very different. So if you're panicking and there is no real danger, then you have to kind of learn to control your thinking a little bit.
Okay.
So in therapy, we call like your eustress. Your eustress is good stress, like your good stress. And then your bad stress is when you hit this heightened sense of panic and there is no real sense of danger. Gotcha. So your body is responding when you're resting as if you're being charged and you're not, So the hard part about anxiety, something that I talk to clients about, is you don't always know what's triggering it. So for someone sitting at home and they're not out at the supermarket and they're not around people and they're supposed to find safety at home, yet they still find that they're extremely anxious. So then I would say now we have to figure out what's internally going on
Right.
with you that's creating the sense of panic and anxiety when you're okay. You know, you're home, you're good. You're with your family, you're with your friends, and you're still feeling like, you know, my heart is pounding and I don't know what's wrong with me. Why am I panicking? Then I would say take a moment and first of all, understand that this is, to me, even though I don't think God initiated this season, these are God-given opportunities for you to sit and reflect and contemplate and say, what is happening with me that I'm not finding this normal? I'm not able to get my mind in order. So for some, it's the sense of uncertainty creates the panic, and a lot of us don't like the time of uncertainty. And then I would question why. You know, why is this such a hard thing for you to deal with something that everyone else is dealing with? Because we can't use the excuse now, well, nobody knows what it's like to be me. Nobody's experienced. We're all going through it. So if you are going through it and you're finding that you're like, I don't know, I'm lonely. I find that I'm getting depressed. I find that I'm worried about who's accepting me and nobody. And why? Because nobody is really around right now. I'm worried about the fact that I don't have a man, or I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm by myself. You know, this is very telling. You don't have the church to necessarily escape to. Now you're left with your own thoughts, and you feel like you're panicking. You know, so figure out what is it that God wants to get across to you in this season. How do you handle isolation? Because for some, they handle it very well. They use this time to be productive. They read books, they study, they structure their days. But if you're not doing that and you find that you're using this time to wallow in self-pity and something else is going on with you internally, then that's something to pray about and ask God to teach you how to best handle it.
So you're saying look at this for like a spiritual opportunity to grow and reflect. I guess kind of looking maybe on the opposite end of things. Spiritually, are these things given to us to, I don't know, act or to move in some sort of way that we might not just think on our own, if that makes sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, for example, like me personally, I have the hardest time sleeping, and it's because my mind is always on what I need to do during the day because I work so much. And it took me up until like week 3 of this quarantine to actually feel rested. And I don't know why. It was something that I had to think about. Like, why can't I seem to wind my mind down? And it was a teacher for me that I put too much weight and pressure on myself to do and to perform and to be, instead of letting God take control over things that I don't have any control over.
Wow.
And let me tell you something, this doggone quarantine will teach you have control over absolutely nothing.
That is so true.
You don't have control, but God does. And so what we consider as a surprise that this season happened, it's not a surprise to God. He knew it was coming. You know, nothing is a surprise to God. So for us, it's an opportunity for us to reflect and think about what we should be working on right now. So for me, it's structure. You know, it's something that I need to really make sure that I'm doing my part, but letting God do what I can't control. You know, there's certain things that create anxiety for me because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And God was like, I know you don't know what to do. So relax.
You gotta let it go.
Relax, let it go. And that's, I think, a lot. I think that's for all of us. What did you do to finally get good sleep? I'm still working on it. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with y'all. I still get up. But I think for me is learning to spend more time with God, learning to rest. And I pray myself to sleep now. I spend time with my family. I structure my days better. And then I let it go what I can't control. I let it go.
Yeah, for sure. Pastor Nick was picking on me on this because I said I finally have time to actually read my Bible. Of course I read my Bible, people. But now, like you said, with structure, I'm structuring it into my day. I'm reading it before I go to sleep. And I found that does help me with kind of relaxing right before those moments that I go to bed and to reflect and just have that time with God to kind of recenter my mind.
So I see some of you talking about structuring your day. Listen, this is very important. Just because we're in quarantine does not mean that your day shouldn't be structured, because this is going to mess us up when we come out of this if we don't have some sense of normalcy. So, when you set your alarm clock, it's something that I need to get back to doing. Set your alarm clock in the morning and keep your routine similar. So if you're used to getting up at a certain time, use that time. Maybe you're not going to work, but get up and work out. Go for a walk, get some air, actually cook. Cook, clean, organize, remove the clutter from your environment. And that, believe it or not, just removing clutter brings peace, when things are organized. So definitely make sure that you're keeping a structured day, and structure your kids' day as well. That's something I wanted to talk about when we talk about how we deal with our kids right now, is they need it too.
Yeah.
Even if it's a visual schedule of things to do at certain times, it does something for our mind to see, because it keeps us accountable. So we know that it's noon and I was supposed to do 4 things by noon, and I did none of that. Right? I'm still snacking and watching, catching up on shows. But make sure that your days are structured. Get up at a certain time, even start winding down your day at a certain time. Cut off the TV, get up some good books and challenge yourself. Like, this is a great opportunity to challenge yourself.
Yes.
So I like to build. Okay, let me tell you something about me. I like to build. One of my hidden passions is I'm a HD
Really?
TV.
That's so cool.
I like to build things. So my husband is challenging me to build something like a new stand for his fish tank. So I'm all like, all right, shoot, I'm about to get my tool. I'm gonna get a new tool belt and get a wood saw and everything to learn how to do it. I haven't done it, but I have the time. Why not? Research, read. I'm watching YouTube stuff to try and learn and build something that I know is in me to do. But I always have, like most people, the excuse, I don't have time. I got the kids. I got to do this. I got to do that. So, I see you do that. I like to build.
Cool.
I'm all about like home design and things like that. So if God gives you your desire, then do something with it, right?
And like, you never know what could come out of that.
Right.
That's really
You just
cool.
never know. So having a structure, I think, is really important. Structuring your day, do something new. When we're talking about cleaning up clutter too, so I have journals. I have so many books and notebooks at home. And when I was going through them, I realized that I had written notes to myself of plans that I had. And some of it were things that I'm doing now that I had already written out that I didn't. I was like, oh my gosh, you mean to tell me I already had a business plan halfway written and I forgot all about it, right? Because we get so busy with our day that we're, we forget that the books that we started writing, that's somewhere on a laptop or on a disc somewhere, stuck in the closet on the top shelf, drawings that we did. Deaconess Crawford, I did not know she could draw.
Really?
Right? So things that can come out of the season are amazing if you allow God to, if you allow yourself to be productive during this time. You'd be crazy surprised what can come out. Like you, Maya. Okay? Like, we're super introverts usually.
Yes.
Right? But God will challenge you out of your comfort zone if you allow him to. You have to give God space to do it and trust him in the season. And you'd be surprised what comes out of this. So some of you have begun business plans, I see. Right. Yes, write the vision. But then, ask God the process too. I know Bishop talks about this all the time when it comes to vision. Vision is a teacher of what the process should look like. And so if you have a vision, every vision is not for now. Sometimes it's a year 2 plan. It's a year 5 or 10. And so trust the process, write down everything, and then keep yourself accountable to it so that when we come out of this season, no more when we come out than you did going in. If you don't, then you just wasted this whole opportunity. So what is this? Yes, there's so many apps that'll help us keep track of our schedule. So keep track. keep track, hold yourself accountable, do something during this time, journal. So what are some of the things that you guys are doing right now?
I saw someone, I think it was, let me see if I can find it, Alicia, who says she's doing a lot of cooking.
Me
she's
too.
cooking too much.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube University is helping Mika learn a whole bunch of stuff for her business.
Yes.
So exciting.
Mm-hmm. And this is a time because most of us, you know, we always make excuses for why, and sometimes it's valid excuses.
For sure, yeah.
You know, I have a son with special needs at home, so it's so hard for me to spend time doing things for me because I'm always researching for, you know, how do I help a child with ADHD? How do I help a child with feeding disorder? And then, you know, when it's time for me, I give myself the scraps, you know, and I hate to put it that way, but that's what your days feel like sometimes is, you know, you feel like you're.
So what can you do to kind of sneak in some time for yourself, even though you're having, you know, so many hands in
structure? You know, we just talked, right?
Yeah.
Structure. You have to carve out time to do things for yourself. If it means getting up a little bit earlier, staying up a little bit later, cutting out some cell phone, social media time. And, you know, I mean, now everybody on social media right now. This is all we can do right now. But definitely focus. Yes. Have deadlines. I see some people, Tasha, I hear you, right? So set deadlines for yourself. Keep yourself accountable to doing stuff for you. You know, work out, eat right. Okay.
That's a hard one. Because
this quarantine. Okay.
I needed to go to the gym by the time this is all done.
But you can do stuff. So like Pastor Nick and myself have been on this like health journey with eating right. And now that I found that it's much easier for me to eat healthy right now because we have created our own little recipes. Pastor Nick and I should do a cookbook, right?
Yeah.
We should do like a healthy cookbook, right? Because we come up with these concoctions now that are so easy and
family
friendly, quick, and they're okay to eat. Like I can, you know, make some beef with throw some kale and some mushrooms in there over top of some spaghetti squash.
Okay. That sounds like a new live video we should do.
Right?
Cooking with the Smiths.
Cooking with the Smiths, right? And it's quick and easy, and look at y'all eating like a maniac. But eat healthy stuff, right? Get some crunchy kale, put it on a little foil plate, and with a little pink salt. You know, I'm trying to hook y'all up with some tips, right? So I hear, what are we saying? I'm a special education teacher setting up. My Google Classroom is definitely opening up other doors. I hear you.
Nice.
I'm not going to talk about eating. Yes, I'm gluten-free. We are gluten-free too. I mess up every now and then, but I don't do gluten. I have a nightshade intolerance, which means anything that grows at night, I can't have like white potatoes or French fries or ketchup or tomatoes or peppers, any of that stuff. But this season will help you be creative. And I know we're talking about mental health, but something that I tell my clients, I want to give this tip to all of you is 80% of your mental health is in your diet. 80% of how you feel is attached to what you're eating.
That's crazy.
80%. So a lot of your emotions are in your stomach. So in case you don't know that, a lot of my clients find like a drastic change in their mood with their diet change. So getting out and moving will do wonders for your mental health. So diets high in carbohydrates and sugars actually are depressing. They depress your body. So, and because they suppress your immune system, and you need your immune system for energy. So if your energy is down, a lot of it is attached to your diet. So
did you guys know that? That like blew my mind.
So if you feel like you're going crazy, a lot of it is in what you're eating. Believe it or not, yes, your gut is attached to your mental health. So if you find that your anxiety is really high or you're very depressed, consider what you're eating, especially a lot of sugar, y'all, because sugar attacks your immune system. And none of us can afford to have our immune systems out of whack right now. So if you're home just snacking on... if you're home snacking a whole lot, cut the snacking to a minimum. and try to replace it with some things that are good for you. Nuts, you know, all those things are very good if you can have that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I thought.
Yeah.
Sugar is terrible for you, and I am a sugar junkie.
Yeah, me too.
And I cannot have it anymore after detoxing. But you want to make sure that you watch your diet. Something with that, like red dye.
Mm-hmm.
A kid in our childcare, when I was working at a different school, spilled red juice on the floor. It took every cleaning agent in the world to get that up, and it was still a big red stain on the floor.
Wow.
Can you imagine what that does to your intestines and your body to have certain sugars and foods, what it does to your body?
Yeah, wow.
So definitely consider. I know it's hard right now because we're in the house, but when you go to the supermarket the next time, try to grab more fruits and vegetables than you're getting potato chips and cookies. And it'll help you sleep better. It'll help your mind. It'll help your mental health. It'll help with mood. You ever notice when you eat something like a big juicy chicken cheesesteak I have not had in years, that you feel real lousy afterward?
Mm-hmm.
It's in your gut,
Wow.
you know. So
I never realized that connection before.
yeah, you definitely have to watch your diet. No soda, no juice.
Yep. Just water and coffee.
Yeah, drink plenty of water. Yeah, watch Stacy.
I'm with you, Stacy. We got a lot of change to do.
It's a big number too. 80% is a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a real number. Diet and mood, especially they think that children with autism, changing their diet and taking the gluten and the sugars out of the diet does wonders for helping them with concentration and focus and their learning abilities. So a lot of the developmental disorders are attached to our environment and what's in our food.
Wow.
So there's a lot, y'all, why so many people are struggling with anxiety and depression, right? Look at our food source.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, our food source is terrible. Learn something new every day, don't you?
So do you guys have any questions so far? I'm going to make sure that we
I'm
answer some of the questions you have.
Post your questions. I do want to say that, you know, while you're posting some questions, make sure that you are making the best of this time by, you know, just challenging yourself. Do some things, journal, write some things down, make notes, and then be very, very clear about what you're experiencing emotionally right now. So if you're battling with your self-esteem, if you're battling with loneliness, which I know is big for some people, and my heart goes out to all of those that are grieving the loss of loved ones, and grief is a big thing right now. And that in and of itself will create a lot of anxiety, you know, because we all have this "am I next" mentality. And just know that we can't worry about what's not in our control. You know, we can worry about what is in our control. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 6 that Jesus talks about, you know, take no thought for tomorrow because tomorrow takes care of itself. He says, but seek first the kingdom and everything that you need will be added. He knows what you have need of. And in that same scripture, he talks about worrying being a chronic distraction. So, and what is worrying distracting us from? Seeking him.
Yes.
So he doesn't want us to worry because worry is distracting us from going after him. So we put our faith in what we're worried about because we speak into it so much. You know, this is going to happen. Well, what if? And we speak more into our anxiety and our worry than we are seeking after the one who can keep us when we need to be kept. So God wants us to make sure that our mind is focused on him. He's the source of our strength. He's the one that's going to be able to replenish us and give us what we need. So make sure that you're spending your time in prayer, that you're spending your time in worship, that while we're in the season that we're getting closer to God, because ultimately that's the thing that we need to do right now that's going to keep us when we're feeling lonely or when we're feeling anxious or when we're feeling depressed, is seeking after the one who can heal us, who can be with us, who's going to keep us. And the longer and the more time we're spending with God, the more we'll feel all of those emotional things dissipate because we're seeking the one who has us in his hand.
Right.
You know, as long as we're in his hand, he's going to be able to keep us.
Right.
Yes, I'm a counselor. I saw somebody asking that.
I know we just jumped into this because we all know you as Reverend Tiffany. Oh. But for people who are new to Bethany and seeing you, can you just give a little bit more on your background?
So I started off as a substance abuse therapist. I am a licensed professional counselor. I've worked with groups, individuals, marriage and family, and children. So we have the Child Care Center here now, which is an inclusive daycare center for children with special needs. And that's my passion as a mom and as a therapist and as a teacher, to kind of combine those two things to make sure that we help a diversity of different people with different needs. So, but yes, I have an LPC. I'm a licensed counselor, and my passion is to just help people transform their way of thinking. And so, yeah, I hope that's exactly.
And she's amazing.
And I'm Pastor Nick's wife. Yes. And he's corny.
Oh, you're not here.
You're not here. You're not here. It's like, wouldn't fruits and non-sugar drinks be good for adults and children? Wouldn't fruits and non-sugar? Your best bet, Kife, is water. Fruits are good. But non-sugar drinks, I'm hoping you're just referring to water, because that's probably the best thing you can do for your body.
Tasha says Tiff is the bomb.
Tasha!
I agree.
You the bomb, girl. Any other questions? Any other questions for us? Y'all funny.
Have you guys been enjoying this live video that we're doing?
I hope so. Yeah.
We're really trying to make sure that we stay connected with you guys, giving you content that will be helpful to you and you can learn from and share with your friends and family.
I'm in trouble. Probably. I'll be okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for a lot of us, we're stuck at home. We're having to spend time with our families all the time. I'm not going to say too much because I'm not going to get in trouble when I get home. But how do you handle that, I guess, mentally and not just striking out, at people and getting arguments and
It's nothing you can really do because we're all, listen, I have 2 kids, okay? So I get it. Sometimes you just can't get away, but you know what, whenever there's a good day, I try to get out. So I've been trying to take walks more and put in your headphones and just kind of, go into your own little zone if you can't get out of the house. But don't, some people are like afraid to go out their doors. Go out in the backyard, go out on the porch, take a little chair and just sit out in front of your own spot.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why it does that. We're having my computer's having a mind of its own right
now. But I definitely think that you need to try to find some sense of solitude if you can within your environment.
But stay in the bathroom, Betty. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Guilty. And I have 2 little kids, so even staying in the bathroom, my daughter, she slips her fingers under the door and she wiggles them and say, "Mommy,
I'm still here."
And they knock on the door. But yes, if that's what you got to do, like I hid in the closet. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I hid in the closet. We were playing hide and go seek, and my kids are terrible at hide and go seek, so they were looking for me. And I went in the closet and I heard Julie and Olivia like, "Mommy, where'd she go? Where'd she go?" And I did not come out. And so they got tired of looking for me, and then I laid on the bed and watched TV. So do what you got to do. If you're going crazy, like just find some kind of solitude. Read a book, which I'm so grateful that I've actually had the chance to do. There's no sacred place for a mom. I can't eat. I can't go to the bathroom. Nothing. But it is what it is, right? We all have to just find what works for us. A movie night is good. Try to do things as a family.
Yeah.
Do a little game night, do a movie night, pop some popcorn, try to do things that'll keep you guys connected in a way that is more fun and takes the pressure off of run away. I feel like Forrest Gump sometimes. That's what I want to do, just like run. Right? Run away from home. Right? But look, do what you can do, right?
I like what Tasha said about reading a book. And I guess just finding things that, you're still there and present, but can have that escape.
Right. Reading and writing, right, Tasha? Yeah, I've been reading more books on business, right? And, it's important to do that. Look up some things and read your Bible, especially if you're having some internal struggles. Find out, and I think my husband actually said that, find out what the Bible says about that. What does the Bible say about faith? What does the Bible say about fear and anxiety? And ask God to help build you in those areas so that when you come out, you're stronger. Lord, help me, because right now I'm going crazy. Lord, I need you to keep my mind. What does the Bible say about that? About walking in faith and about overcoming fear.
And I've been doing that too. Going back to reading my Bible.
You don't read your Bible.
I read my Bible. But I guess in this time, I'm going back and reading scriptures that I've read before. And I don't know if it's because of the situation that we're in. I'm picking up new things I didn't see the first time.
Yeah. And I think this will bring to light what your relationship is like with God too. It's very telling if we're still trying to run to other people in the season, and God is like, hello, this is a perfect opportunity
right here.
for you to get, I'm here. I've been trying to get you to know that all year. Right. And we still are like, no, I got to get out. I need to socialize. I need to be around people. And God is like, I want you though. I want your heart. You getting cracked on.
Uh-oh. I'll see you at 3:00.
I'll see you at 3:00. Ava says puzzles are a lot of fun, right? I bust out my acoustic guitar, y'all. Look, I'm full of talents. Y'all don't know.
Okay. Wait till we come back on Sunday. Playing some music for us.
I can't do nothing on that guitar. Okay, all I can do is scales, but I brought it out the closet though, right?
Okay.
But all of us have things that we've been probably sitting on that it would be a good time for us to explore those things. And it'll be good for your mental health to do that as well. Now, since we're talking about mental health is something that I think a lot of people, especially in our culture, I don't know how else to say it properly.
That's how you say it.
We experience a lot of denial. And I think it's really important to take help when you can get it. And if you need to reach out to someone, I love that book, Who Moved My Cheese? That's a great book. But if you need to reach out to someone, then do so. So on the lines of anxiety too, anxiety and panic disorder, can have a genetic component. So if you're someone who has a family history of anxiety or depression or mental health issues, then please reach out to your primary care doctor and have a conversation with them about it, because there's some things that they can do to help you. And also we're available. Bishop and Pastor Nick and the Counseling Center is still here. So it's no need to suffer in silence just because we are in isolation, and what I like to consider our forced isolation does not mean that people are not still available to you if you need it. So make sure that you're reaching out for help, and don't ever think that you have to struggle alone.
Nope.
I do think that right now that the social distancing and the isolation, the way we talk about it can seem negative. Isolation. What else are we calling it? Loneliness and quarantine, and they all sound so negative. But if we change the way that if we change our perception of it and look at it as a time of reflection and change our language a little bit, and an opportunity for growth, and start changing our language, then we'll see it as something positive that we can do with our time, instead of something that I'm just bored, I'm so bored. There's no reason to be bored. Because if we're really looking into this season the right way, we should be doing more with ourselves, right? If you're bored, then maybe that's your indicator, right, that you're not doing enough. do some things, change the narrative, right, Danette, right?
I like that.
Change the narrative, change how you're saying it and what you're speaking into your own environment. So speak something different into this time and you'll probably get a different result. But if you take this season and say what you normally say when you feel isolated, then the story will stay the same, right? But you have a choice to make right now to change your narrative and change what you say and what you're speaking into your circumstance, and then put action behind what you say, right? Faith without works is dead. So put some faith to it and then work out something so that you get a different positive result. It's important to do that while you have the time.
So Danette says you got it. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. So like you said, changing that perspective from the negative of being in quarantine and self-isolation and looking at it in the positive and doing stuff with that.
Like this is involuntary confinement. I want out. We keep talking, we say it in such a way like we're being in prison, and we're not being in prison, y'all. This is for our safety, almost like when God put restrictions in the garden, he did it for their protection, right? But it ultimately had a great purpose to make sure that they stayed in his hands. God's not trying to kill us. We're not in the season for something bad to happen to, God don't want bad things to happen to us. He wants us to take the right perspective and change the narrative and see this as an opportunity for us to do great things while we have the time to do it. Right?
Wow.
Okay.
Y'all got that? Danette says she's having church up in here.
Change the narrative. I love that, right? It's something that's very important for us to do. Keep positive and make the best use of our time. Right?
Questions? Thoughts? Anything else you want to share with us?
Hi, Sister Kim. Thank you. Anything else? Hope we answered your questions.
So, another question.
Okay. Well, okay.
Sorry. So, for people who we might see who are struggling, how can we be of help and encouragement to them during this time?
So I think that it's still important to reach out to your friends. Reach out to people that you haven't talked to in a long time. And check in on them. Nobody appreciates that more than like someone that is struggling with isolation, that someone is thinking about them. So why not take the time to send someone a private message or just say, hey, you were in my thoughts. I had a couple of the young millennials that was like, hey, Sister Tiff, I miss you.
Aww.
And that just made my heart feel so, I'm stuck in the house, y'all, my hair look crazy, and, I had my ugly, wrap on my head. And I told Nick, I was like, I'm about to start barking. He's like, barking? And I'm like, I look crazy, And it's because, but everybody likes when someone calls or texts them. It goes a long way to just check in on someone. Don't think, just because we're in quarantine doesn't mean that we have to stop living and that our relationships have to stop. Make sure that you're, checking in on people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Call someone, even someone that may not expect you to call. Right? Like, hey, this is Sister such and such. I just, it goes a long way for someone. Oh my gosh, thank you for calling me.
Yeah.
Or just texting and saying, hey, thinking about you. How are you? How are you handling this craziness?
Right.
And, that's another.
And I'm like going back to like you said, I'm an introvert. So me making the phone calls is probably not something that I would do, just offhand, to be honest. But I did it the other day and had like a 2-hour-long conversation with someone.
Wow. See?
And it surprised me just how much that did lift off like the anxiety and everything else that was I was going through in that day. So
and I am too. Yeah, call people. I'm not I'm not a phone person either. So I'm the one on the phone like, okay.
I get it.
I'm the one on the phone that's like, okay, yeah, girl. Yeah. I'm best in person. Like I love hugs, so this is why, for being an introvert, this is why this season is hard, because I can't even go see my parents, and I'm very close to my mom. And I want to hug my mommy, I want to put my arms around my mommy and my dad, and I can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So, but definitely I'm trying to take the initiative to call my dad more, call my mom more, call my friends, check in, text, and just say, hey, y'all good? Y'all good over there? Stay connected. You can still stay connected even though we're in different places. Right.
And you never know how that might actually save someone's life in making that connection.
Mm-hmm. People have about 10 minutes, Tasha. People have about 10 minutes on the phone. Yeah, all right, well. Before they get the, all right, well.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. All right, well, you know what? I didn't want nothing.
I get it.
I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to see what you was up to. And then I'm off the phone, right? Yes, Ava, see, you're just like me. I love a good hug, right? So I miss having my hugs. Don't nobody probably want to touch us right now, right?
No.
Here, I'm going to give y'all a virtual hug, right? I love hugs.
I hope you guys felt that hug.
Yeah. Will SOAR be opening back soon? I hope so.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell a little bit about what SOAR is too, since we have some first-time viewers as well?
Yeah, so SOAR is our daycare center here, you guys. Well, I don't want to say daycare. We are a child care center. And there's a difference. I ain't getting on all that. But yes, we are closed right now because they are only allowing us to open for essential personnel, and we decided to go ahead and close just because we're still in a church, and so for everyone's safety, it's just the best thing for us because the church is closed. But we will be opening whenever they allow us to open back up. But SOAR is our child care center, and I think the difference, you can go to any childcare. There's a child care center on every block, y'all. But I think we give the in-home childcare feel in a building.
Yeah.
So we're all professional teachers and counselors and a professional staff, but we are moms, and we provide our atmosphere and our environment for learning is different than you'll get probably in any other school. And I've worked at schools. I worked in therapy environments. So I'm passionate about making sure that we set the right environment for kids to learn and make sure they're ready for kindergarten. So our kids have a different level of empathy than other students have in daycares. They hold themselves accountable. They are very structured, and it's just a great place for kids to be. They learn biblical principles. So no parent is going to, don't pass it up.
No,
don't pass it up. Don't pass it up. They learn godly principles, and you can see them grabbing each other's hand and walking in the hallway they have a different relationship that's being built in our center than they're going to get at other places. So it's an awesome place for kids to be.
Nice. So I saw Ava posted.
Thank you, Ava.
Check out more information about SOAR on their website. Go to soar.org. And really just take a look of all the different services and offerings that they have there that you can put your kids in. They need it these days.
Yeah. And our mission is just to make sure that every child, regardless of disability, they thrive at their center and they're ready for school. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ava.
Thanks, Betty, for your support.
Yes, thank you, Betty.
Aww.
Thank you, Linda. Hey, Linda.
Thought I saw maybe another question here. Betty also said that it means a lot when someone knows that you care and that you're concerned for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are quite a few people that are struggling with suicide, because this is a tough time. So check in on your friends. And sometimes it's the people that you would not expect to do it. It's not always the ones that seem super depressed. Sometimes it's the ones that are always like out front and you think they're super extroverted and that everybody loves them. They're the ones that they struggle too. You never know what someone is struggling with internally. So check on everybody, even the ones that you don't think need to be checked on. Even some of your leaders, just because they're in leadership, they're usually the ones that are passed over the most. And everyone thinks they're okay. And they go home and they cry themselves to sleep because they check on everyone else, but no one's checking on them.
Wow.
So make sure you consider your leaders, pray for them too. Pray for those that pray for my sister is essential personnel. So I worry about her every day. So check in on your peoples, check in on them and make sure that everyone's okay.
Yes. Check on your strong friends.
Check on your strong friends. Yep. The ones you think are strong.
No. Right.
Yeah. my mom always say, out of my sister, my brother, that they think I'm the strongest, but I'm also the most sensitive. So she always tries to make sure she checks on me because your girl's strong, but I need love in my life, y'all.
Yeah, everyone does.
Everybody needs that, right?
Everyone has some moments.
Everybody has their moments, and they need to be checked on, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sister Minton. We miss y'all. Tell Janita I said hi. Thank you.
So, we hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. Really, we want you guys to stay connected. Oh, here's another question. Okay. Says, how do you deal with an out of control child?
Okay, Mr. Butler. Is that I don't know. I don't know if it just says E. Butler. I have to be honest with you. Oh, thank you, Nico. Hi, Monica. I miss you too. I lose my patience on my son all the time. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. But that's something that I think we all have to work on is patience with children. And I think I'm going to probably do something where we talk about the kids. So listen for that coming soon. But one thing you do have to have is compassion, especially if a child is out of control. There's always what we call an antecedent. That means that there's something that's causing the behavior. So find out what is causing find out what's causing the behavior. Sometimes, especially at home, if there's a lack of structure, then that will throw a child completely out of control. They need structure, and they need you to follow through on rules, and they need you to definitely make sure that there are things in place for them to do that'll redirect behavior that is unwanted. So if you don't have anything to redirect unwanted behavior, then it's going to keep the behavior going. So find out what the child is interested in, what helps them calm down, and when they are 10, you have to be. Yeah, and you yelling and throwing a tantrum is only going to reinforce the negative behavior you don't want. So it's the adult's job to teach children coping skills. So they don't have the language like we have to understand why they feel the way that they feel and why they can't control their bodies. We want to throw tantrums sometimes too and have a fit, and sometimes we do. But we usually have the language and the capacity to control that. So but if you understand that child's antecedent and what's causing the behavior, then usually that answers what needs to happen to get the behavior in check. So yes, I see you, Maribel, right? Antecedent behavior and in consequence, what's causing the behavior.
Right. So that's going back to what you said earlier about structure and defining what that looks for you and your family.
Yeah.
And I imagine with them being out of school, they're not able to see their friends, that structure that they had is now out the window. That could lead to a lot of
crazy. I said it 10 times, Julian, right? And out. And so as a parent, I have to recognize that he's done. He's reached his limit. He's emotionally over it. And so I have to be the one to so now I've learned my child teaches me. So now I'll say, you're done, aren't you? Yes. And he's ready to cry. Yes. I'm like, oh, we're done. Take a break, and then we'll come back to it. So, diverting the child's attention. And no parent wants a child that's throwing tantrums or is out of control, but usually no child acts like that without a reason. So if they're doing it, then there's a reason behind it. And we have to understand what's causing it. Is it the lack of structure? Is it your tone? Because children they can read when you're moody and your moods affect them. And it's very difficult to teach a child. And I don't know this person, but it's very difficult to teach a child how to control their behavior if you can't control yours and you're easily agitated and frustrated with them. Then that's not teaching them how to fix what they're feeling, right?
I think something you just said was really special. Your child teaches you. And I think sometimes as parent, I'm not one yet, so I don't know. I think it's easy to be in that mindset of you teaching them and having it be in that one way, but you have to learn from them as well.
Yeah, learn from your kids, right? That's exactly what's happening with the kids. Yeah, a lot of them are super frustrated. They want to get out. My son, and so my son's like, "Can I go out when I'm 8?" And I'm like, "Julian, I'm like, I hope so. Your birthday's not till November. He's like, can I go out when I'm 8?" And I'm like, he's like, "You can't keep me in the house forever." So I know that they're, a lot of the kids, they're frustrated too. They miss their friends. They're not socializing. So, we have to create some normalcy for them too. Give them a structure. So now my son's like, he has a routine every day now. He does his schoolwork, and I try to get them outside. Let them walk around and run around, and get the willies out. So that they, feel like they have their normal life.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard for the kids. They probably are, tired of being in the house too.
Imagine. Camille said he's watching from Morocco.
Hi.
So cool. Hi from New Jersey.
Hi from New Jersey. Good. Yeah, my son's funny. He's like, "Can I go out when I'm 8?"
But that shows like
where a kid's mind is at.
For all of us, this is the first time that I've ever been through something like this.
Me too, in my lifetime.
I can't imagine how they're perceiving everything that's going on. It has to be scary, or
I could use Lillian says, "Love that idea. That notion could use as a sort of personal outreach ministry."
Cards.
Yep. People love cards.
So I guess I'm going to challenge you guys watching to make that first interaction with a friend, and do that as a form of ministry, and just checking to see how people are doing.
Yep. Hi, Tisha. I see you. Yes, and take breaks from your kids. Okay? Because they can be. I was going to say something. They could be super annoying. They could be very annoying, right? You just need a break. So I told my kids, I turned on a movie in my bedroom, and I said, "Go upstairs," and let them for like 20 minutes, go upstairs, just so I could have like a quiet time, because they were fighting like cats and dogs, y'all. So, sometimes you got to just take a break. I didn't even care about the schoolwork at that point. I was like, "Both of y'all, go upstairs, watch a movie, leave me alone. Watch Frozen for the 100th time." But it is what it is, right? All right.
I think we're good. We've been at this for an hour. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Reverend Tiffany's going to be back with more. She mentioned the parenting videos that we're going to do. So be on the lookout. If you're not following us on our social media, we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Pinterest, all the major social media sites at BBC of NJ. So please make sure to stay connected with us. We'd love to hear from you. Send a message, a DM, comment on a picture, whatever. Just make sure that you're checking in with us so we know how you're doing, okay? All right. We will see y'all soon. Bye.